Hi, I'm Drew.
And I'm Sam.
And welcome to Drewling Samantics.
Now, don't you let anyone see the brand. Come on, no sponsorship.
That was a close one. How you doing, mate? I wasn't expecting you quite yet.
Oh, sorry. Cheers. How are you?
Hang on, I'm going to just carry on pouring. There we are. There. Cheers, mate.
Cheers.
There you go.
Yeah. So, how have you been, mate? You all right?
Yes, thank you. Very well. Yeah, very good. Yeah.
And
a little bit busy, a little bit this, a little bit of that. And talking of which, now I fill my glass. What have you been up to? Well,
mate, I'm afraid to say that I don't think we've got enough time in this episode. I have had one of the craziest weeks, honestly. So I've had cast meetings for the film, so read-throughs, scripts and stuff. I've been doing some post-production, some editing on the audio book. I've been doing some other voiceover work as well. I've also just been successful in getting a part in a musical that's workshopping, so that started as well. So obviously been trying to commiserate from the sad result from last week, but keeping upbeat and whatever.
Right.
I've been prepping things ready to go out for filming. Yeah, mate, I don't think my feet have touched the floor really. It's been an absolute crazy one, and I'm loving it. I'm back at it and full throttle, full speed ahead, and all that kind of jazz. So, What about yourself?
Well, I have to admit, not quite as busy as your good self. I mean, I've got a couple of things coming up. I've got a recall audition coming up, so I've been reading the script and learning the speech for that. And I've had a rehearsal for the filming that I'm doing in a few days' time. So I've been actually in a rehearsal room with live people, which has been quite strange. But in comparison to yourself, which I have to applaud you on and say, well, it's well deserved.
Oh,
nothing you don't deserve. But I actually have had a little bit of time to mentally and quizzically prepare for our guest. Do you like that?
Yeah.
Quizzically, because I mean, he's such a busy guy. He's got so much going on, so many that to sit down and try and write a few questions and things to lead him into conversation, which is probably hardly necessary. But I mean, yeah, I've had time to prepare. I mean, I've written it down and then gone, no, I don't need that, and then written more pages. I mean, he's such a great guy and so talented in so many things to do that I've needed to sit down and prepare for this one. Even though, I mean, I'm looking forward to getting.
I mean, as you say, mate, he is many things. He's a great guy. He's a very talented guy. He does lots of different things, but most importantly, he's here.
Hey,
here we go. Let's let him in. Ready? And there he is, Mr. Rob Jones TV. How are you?
Yes.
Yeah. Well, first of all,
oh, look, he's one step ahead, Drew.
Good man. I'm loving your style, Rob.
Well, I know you can't really mention products there, but what you got? A beer, lager, bitter? What you got?
On the lagers, yeah.
There's a little continental lager there, mate.
Your one looks much better presented, I must say. In your glass.
It's only because we can't advertise, mate.
Right. So we've got to talk about those cushions. They look immaculately placed.
I mean, what can I tell you? It is the sofa of dreams. I've spent a long time in preparation for your good self. I mean, we haven't met before, mate, so I wanted to make this a special moment.
It makes no effort for me.
If you lean back far enough, it looks like you're wearing one of them square hats from university. Look, when he's graduated.
I tell you what, he looks like a bad guy from a 70s like sci-fi. You know, like the big cloak and kind of around the head. But anyway, ladies and gentlemen,
Emperor Ming, that's it.
Ladies and gentlemen, meet the incredible Mr. Rob Jones TV, a guy I've worked with on a couple of occasions, and is just the most versatile person I have ever met. I mean, I've never known anyone to go, right, there's something I don't do yet, I'm going to do it, and then does it. That's how I would sum you up, mate, I guess. So
the way that's all turned out has been, I mean, I love creative stuff, but, in the industries that we're in, you don't know when the next job is. So fortunately, I call it fortunately. I've worked to do it, but I'm lucky. I spin a lot of plates. So when one thing's quiet, the other thing's busy.
Yeah.
But I think the last time we saw each other, we was fighting, weren't we?
That is true, yeah. So you brought me in probably under the false pretense of being in a decent piece of film, and actually all you wanted to do is kick the shit out of me. So and it is it still on your site? I think it's still on my site somewhere.
Yeah, it's still up. So for people who have no idea what we're talking about,
I was like, what?
So I quite a few years ago wanted to get some fight scenes on my acting reel, just to show that I can have a fight, basically. And to be fair, and we executed it in Romford. Got a mate of mine, Nicky, to film it, and it was very like hook or crook. Right, let's find a street and a subway, and let's just kind of work it out. And we did some pretty questionable choreography. But like it was a bit of a ragtag team, wasn't it? It was like the most unrealistic. Like, first of all, I'm fighting this tiny geezer who I just I'd probably just knock him out with like one blow, and then this bird's in there, like she's up for it, so I've got to fight her now without actually fighting her and look like I'm not an horrible git. And then I've got to fight Sam, the big henchman at the end, who actually has the upper hand for most of it until I bite his nose off.
Yeah, well,
that's pretty much it.
Spoiled the ending now, so if anyone does want to go out and see Rob bite my face, then go out and find it on the case.
I'll tell you what,
on the case.
The last time I was in Romford, they were real fights, not nothing choreographed.
We might as well have just gone out on the piss and just like filmed it. That would have probably
would have been more.
If you look up, I think it's Robert Cash like fight scene or something like that. I'm sure it's up there still.
Yeah, brilliant.
But,
so aside from beating the crap out of me, for all our listeners, watchers, viewers, a little bit about you. I know you could go on for hours, but give us a little sort of insight into what you do and how you got where you are.
All right. So I guess if this was like an Instagram caption, it would be musician, producer, songwriter, actor, TV and radio presenter, model, and all-round creative.
Yeah.
Okay, so how it started, I mean, my first steps were in music. So I joined a marching band when I was 6, and like just a local marching band, and that really quickly got me my ears going, if you know what I mean. So quite quickly I was aware of like musical arrangements and just like, when you're a kid, you just absorb everything. And I was really tiny, obviously being 6, and all I wanted to do was play the drums. Now, when you're tiny, you don't get to play drums in a marching band because you have to carry like a huge drum or whatever, and they wouldn't let me. So that was kind of the start.
Please tell me, mate, you were on the triangle, please.
Well, I was on the cymbals for a couple of years, right? But what the best thing about it was, like, when someone has told me, no, you can't do this because you're too small, or you can't this and that, that gave me the exact foundations you need for every aspect of my career, which is people telling you no, and you know what, sod you, I'm going to do it anyway. Because from the sidelines, I just watched them play, and I was learning the parts as I'm watching them. And then one day I just took it off them and actually, just did it, sort of thing. And quite quickly, I think by the time I was, like not many years after, I was actually teaching them what stuff to do with that. So it kind of helped me with that kind of confidence, but it just got me absorbed and obsessed with music and writing, and because we had to write different shows, and I ended up sort of taking a lot of that under my wing, and I guess like by the time I was sort of 13, 14, that's when I was sort of hooked into the glamorous side of music, like trying to get on stage. And so I started just teaching myself other instruments. I taught myself guitar on like a 1-string guitar, just listening. Oh, is that the right note? Yeah, that's the one. And then the same for everything else, like just plonking on a piano till I could figure it out. So my ears were quite well trained just to listen and play, and then obviously that went up to singing and everything else. But so I guess that was my sort of pathway into music. And then I had a bit of a crap time through school, but it was again something I could go to that was kind of my savior there. So, it was all such a positive start in that respect. And going through school, that's when I kind of discovered drama and stuff like that, and being quite a confident kid because of the marching band years. And you're mixing with a lot of ages, so got into me acting then, and took that through college, also doing music and stuff as well. And then by the time I was sort of 18, 19, after a tragedy of losing a friend who was in my band at the time, it just made me go out there, start auditioning, and I was nearly in things like Busted and McFly and Bloody Five and all sorts of things that you know. Thank God I weren't. But and yeah, I was signed to a management pretty early on, and then you know the rest is kind of history in the music front. You know, through various hook or crooks of nearly getting signed here and this band and that band, and in and out of different studios and stuff, like working on my songwriting skills, and then you know fast forward to I don't know about 2008, and that was kind of through meeting various people. That's when Missing Andy was kind of born in the band. And the rest is history. We had a couple of top 20s in 2010, I think it was, and we've been sort of working at it ever since. So we're a few albums in now. There's a new one on the way, and yeah, and I guess having had those couple of hits, that was what allowed me to not worry about work for a couple of years, and was able to then pick back up the acting that I'd kind of had to choose left or right with, and I was able to run that in tandem, and then you know started off doing as you have to do because I wasn't trained further like in university. So to get onto Spotlight, you know, I had to do lots of background work and just get picked up for one-liners here and there, and then eventually got those. Eventually got an agent, and then you know that's off and running. And then again through people you've met, now I'm presenting a radio show or doing a TV show, and it's just all started, I guess, from that. It's a really long story now. But,
No, it's great.
The thing is, it's a snowball, isn't it? So all of us discover in the industry that we'd all love to go out there and go, well, I'm just going to play classical music and that's absolutely it. Or I'm just going to be a stage performer, or I just want to be in EastEnders. You can have that one goal, but you're going to find it incredibly difficult to fund yourself or create a career just focusing on that one tiny sort of point.
Well, this is why like the people telling me no was the best thing, because like you know or just hitting a hurdle like, oh, we need a bass player, oh, I'll learn that then, I'll do that, you know, oh, I'll learn how to do this, like you can't act, all right, I bloody will, I'll show you, you know, like, or you can't do this because of this, and we're not going to sign you, or you're never going to make it, or whatever. No, bollocks, I am. And it's that's I feed off that, you know. I don't care if I don't get a casting or anything like that, because it's just like whatever, you know. So it's all been really valuable, and I guess through all of those happenings, that's what's made me pick up so many trades. And you know, in this day and age, I mean, pre-COVID, I guess more, but there are quiet periods, you know, like if you've just been on tour or you've just had your album out and that's kind of tapered off, you know, what else is going to bring in the money? And so, you know, I don't think I could survive just being an actor or just doing this or that, you know. So I do feel sorry for and understand, you know, people that do have to default to something else because they have to obviously keep the lights on. So I'm fortunate that it's worked out the way it has for me, even though I've obviously worked for it. That, you know, no matter what day of the week it is, something I'm doing is something I want to do and work to do, and it's in the industries that I love.
It's something you have to do these days. You can't just be a single or a double or even a triple threat these days. You know, you've got to be able to, you know, as you say, to keep the lights on, you've got to be able to turn your hand to different things and have different skills. I mean, Sam and I, you know, we spoke to a friend of mine a couple of weeks back, Amy, who does many, many things like your good self. But also I was interested because you said things were born out of, you know, you lost a mate, you lost a bandmate, and that made you, is that thing of like, well, don't kill you makes you stronger. I mean, you broke one of the cardinal rules of Drewling Samantics a minute ago. You mentioned the C word, but as we thought, you know, right? No, you're allowed. Who's to know? But
that's right. No one noticed until Drew made a point.
Are you sure? I don't remember that.
I'm going to do that, you know, because it will make him do something now, you know, pull him up about something. He gets better.
Listen, if you tell me I can't do it, I'm going to do it.
Exactly. But no, I mean, as you know, Drewling Samantics, you know, Sam and I, we you know, the podcast was born out of, you know, the uninvited guest, the lockdown of that. And we always ask people, because we're still kind of in the midst of this, you know, that horrible situation now. How did you deal with it? I mean, and has like everything else you seem to have got positives out of, has, you know, that period of lockdown and the uninvited guests, has that driven you on to other things? You know, are you turning your hand to other stuff, or, you know, it hit obviously every industry of mine. Yeah,
completely. I mean, obviously touring gone, like acting jobs, all that stuff gone. I mean, there was the only thing I sort of picked up that I did more of was voiceover work, because obviously a lot of people were turning to animations and stuff. So obviously I'm sitting on the studio, so I got to do a lot of that. But the most annoying thing, this brings me on to the Dizzy Rascal stuff.
You were going to ask.
I wrote, obviously, you guys know, but I wrote and performed a new song with Dizzy Rascal called Be Incredible. And obviously we've written and recorded it before the Unwanted Guest and all that. And the plan was in 2020 that I'd be on the road with him, performing it with him, things like Glastonbury and all that stuff, which would have obviously been huge. And obviously it came along, and then it was like push back. And then eventually it was like, we've just got to release the album. So the album came out, no touring, no PR. And I'm like, because obviously like it's my name on it as well. So, you know, as much as a privilege that it was to have the opportunity, but obviously the kickback is, you know, who's that guy on stage with him? People look it up and like find my stuff and so on and so forth. So it was a huge kick in the nuts. But, you know, the bigger picture is it was horrific for a lot of people. Loads of people lost family members and whatnot. So I'm not even touching it. But so, yeah, but to answer your question, obviously things like that, you know, were a massive thing. But, you know, music's not going anywhere. You know, all of our shows are being rescheduled, and, you know, it's all going to pick back up. But yeah, obviously a lot of revenue, like everyone was lost and stuff. But you know, you don't just sit around twiddling your thumbs. I got on with lots of songwriting and just creative stuff, and you know, even just doing up the studio and just doing whatever I can to keep creative. The only annoying thing was, I guess, was not being able to go places and, you know, be active, you know, while the clock was stopped. But you know, I can't complain. You know, there's 15 strong in a high-rise flat in India or whatever, all packed in, you know, so there's way worse situations out there. So
yeah.
And as you drew attention to the fact that obviously you, anyone that's not watching on YouTube, those that are listening, Rob is currently sat in front of every instrument you can possibly imagine in his own home studio, which, I mean, Drew and I have got sort of makeshift home studios. This, it makes ours look like, well, you can't even compare them. So the studio is something that is more recent, isn't it? So it came along not long before we were hit with the unwelcome guest. But was that a decision that you made because it made life easier as a producer? Was it because it made life easier for the band, or was it just something that you were able to do and had always wanted to?
Well, I've, you know, since, I don't know, 16, 17, whatever, I've always had home software, bedroom software, if you want to call it that. So I've always been producing and recording and writing like that. And, you know, I've been in and out of a lot of big studios, and the main desire about having, so this is Manor Studio, Essex, my place. But I wanted, you know, because especially when I'm writing songs for other people, obviously you don't really want strangers coming around your lounge or your bedroom or whatever. So I wanted to have my own business, you know, to expand it into bands and stuff like that. So when we were looking at houses, part of the thing to look for was a space, you know. So this is like in another area of the house, and there's like a basement level thing, and like through there's a vocal booth, and there's like a kitchen. So it's a completely sort of separate space. But the main point of it was, I don't want to go to your place to produce. You come to me, you know, and plus that you can lay it out how you want, and you know, you're sort of limited in a bedroom or a small space of what you can have in there. Whereas now everything's, you know, got various kits and instruments and amps everywhere, so everything's at the touch of a button, ready to go. And yeah, obviously, just being a producer, it was a sensible move to produce for others as well, other than myself.
You've been, I mean, you say you know, you started off really, you know, as a kid, and it's, you know, you've gone on from there. Who were your musical influences? I mean, who influenced you? What, you know, who do you like listening to?
Well, I've always had the ethic of there's awesome music to be found in every genre. So just as there are terrible songs in every genre, I think you've just got to find the ones you like, you know. So like I said, that in the early days, it was kind of marching band stuff, I guess, opened my eyes to more of the, not all classical, but, you know, just that area of of music that isn't just pop or whatever. But my brothers and sisters and mum and dad already had a huge like vinyl and CD collection from when I was born, really. So we were always sifting through that and, you know, just enjoying stuff like everything from Beethoven to like Chaz and Dave or whatever. I mean, anything went, you know, and it was a fun journey to listen through everything, you know. So one day you know, some kids just want to listen to Justin Bieber or whatever in the car, but you know, we wanted to hear like soul music, and then we wanted like Dire Straits on, then we wanted this, then we wanted that, and so that was my early years. You know, Queen was a really big one when I was young, but I guess I was again in the marching band. We'd play lots of different shows or themes and stuff, so we'd always be learning about a new artist that we probably wouldn't have discovered as a kid anyway. And then I guess when I was about 14, 15, when you start sort of wanting to pull girls and things like that, and like you start recognizing, oh, what's this band called Motley Crue and Guns N' Roses and all these and people are flashing their boobs at them and stuff like that. So that sort of opened my eyes into the more like rock and roll like side of things. But then because I was already writing and you know, in bands and stuff, and you start vibing off each other's influences, and I guess I just took it all in. I mean, I don't really have a genre that I dislike. I mean, there's probably things I listen to more, but you know, and I'm knocking Justin Bieber. He's had a few good songs, to be fair, or whoever wrote them for him. But, but yeah, I don't really. I can't really answer your question, because it was it's not like a single person or band or anything. I mean, I just love it all. Like I'm sure both of you, like whoever your favourite act is, have got plenty of crap songs as well. You know what I mean? So it's just finding the gold.
Yeah, I like it. So
go on then. I'll throw an even more difficult one to you then, because you said that you spent your childhood, you started out wanted to play drums, then you played guitar, then you started singing, and now you basically any instrument that stays still long enough, you pick it up and smash it. I'm not talking like as in on stage,
who smash it.
I mean, smash it as in do a great job. Although, I mean, I've seen some of your gig recordings as well. We won't go into that either. Anyway, so at what point did you sort of branch out and take on, because I know you do teaching as well as working in the studio and recording for people, you also do instrumental lessons. And the actual question that I was going to say is, if you had to pick one instrument, would it still be drums, because that's where you started?
Oh, I mean, that's tough. I mean, I suppose drums was my first love, if you like, because it was the first thing I learned to do, and it's just noisy and raucous, and you can kick the shit out of it. It's quite good if you're frustrated just to come down and smash it up. But I love it all, mate. And I guess, I mean, like I said, I was from a young age teaching that band or writing the stuff for that band, and at all different ages, and trying to communicate and find ways to engage them and stuff like that from a young age myself. So I was quite equipped to take it on. Again, obviously, when you get a studio, it's just one of the branches of the services you can offer. So I teach drums, bass, guitar, piano, and vocals. But I get past all the stuffy stuff, and I just get to the fun bit. You know, like just by 2 or 3 lessons, you're playing something that you like. Do you know what I mean? Like, even if it's not that great, but I just start to get past all the theory egg and just get straight to the fun, and then kind of try and tell you what you just played, rather than like showing you what to play and then asking you to, sort of thing. So I try and keep that same what made me enjoy it element in there.
Nice. But yeah, so I'm going to push you for it. We stick you on the desert island. You're only allowed to take one instrument with you.
I mean, I guess desert island wise, it would probably be a guitar or something, because you can get a melody out of it. But then if there's a ship really far away, you want to be hitting some drums, you know. No one's going to hear like a ukulele or anything, are they? All
right, so you've got out the box again on that one. Fine, I can't win. But
I love it all, mate.
No, absolutely. And that show, and as said, we've known each other a little while, and I've seen you do various things. I mean, we met on a film set. So do you find now that with the studio and with now hopefully the band are going to start touring again and you're writing new stuff, do you find that acting has to sit back a little bit at the moment, or have you got stuff queuing up for that as well? And I guess presenting as well?
Well, as more stuff piles on, I'm more of a cherry picker now. So, like, I guess if either big paid or big opportunity acting job presented itself, then I would obviously move a studio client for that or whatnot. But or vice versa, you know, if there's a huge gig and something else is in the way, I guess I've got the luxury of being the boss to move people around. I mean, the cool thing about the studio is that obviously you can move people to another day. It's a little bit sticky if they've paid a deposit and that's the day they've taken off work and all that stuff. But everyone's aware that, you know, what I do anyway, so they're kind of prepared for that. But we're pretty, I'm pretty fair when it comes to a booked gig. Like if it's especially if it's like a Missing Andy show where like obviously there's 5 other guys that you're cancelling on to do your other thing.
Your thing,
I mean,
yeah.
But to be fair, other than like going away touring and that, most of that stuff often lands on the weekend where acting is weekday stuff. So it tends to work out okay on that. But at the moment, it's a bit frustrating with the COVID acting, obviously, because say you get a day's work offered doing X, Y, or Z. You've got to have like a week test before that, and it's normally at their set, and then there's one like a day or two before the thing. So like I've been turning down a few things recently where actually I've got to cancel like 3 days work to do this 1 day thing. You know what I mean? So it's a bit of a juggle, but you know, if it's a role that you can't refuse, then obviously you prioritize.
Yeah. Absolutely.
I'm going to do a Sam on you now because I mean, we always are. I mean, we've had some, as I say, we've had some guests on who do loads of things. We do. I mean, I do a load of stuff, as does Sam. You know, as you say, it's a case of having to. Where's your happy place, Rob? If you was like, where are you happiest? Is it behind a keyboard? It's in there.
About there.
About there.
If we're talking music, on stage, 100%.
Yeah, I thought you were going to say that. I was hoping.
Like, I mean, we in normal life wouldn't have gone more than a week without a gig for the longest amount of years of my life. So to go a year and a half without one is nuts. I mean, sometimes if you've been playing the same set for a long time, you know, you can personally get a bit tired of it, but the minute and the traveling and the moving all the gear and all that sort of stuff, but the minute you are up there sweating and playing it and there's strangers from like here or another country, whatever, singing back the lyrics that you wrote once in your bedroom when you were younger, that never gets old. Do you know what I mean? So like, that's the happy place. That's when you go, yeah. But you know what, happy places, there's lots of places, isn't there? You know, just like when I see like a young student smile because they got that bit right, or you know, that's cool as well. So like just to do the things I like doing and not basically being a builder is my happy place.
yeah.
Although it's helped with the studio because you've done it all yourself, haven't you?
Yeah, I'm a big DIY guy. Like my dad was a bit of a bodger, so I kind of picked that up from him. So I built like a staircase. I've done all our garden and decking and like conversions, and I just like to tinker, you know. So again, I guess it's a creative thing to do, isn't it? I mean, obviously there's some things I won't go in there, like electronics or anything like that. I'd probably be dead. But yeah, I find there's other ways to be creative. You know, I quite like doodling and drawing and stuff like that as well. But
yeah, well, so you said that basically the band has been sort of on a hiatus because everything has. And it's just about to start kicking back in. And I know you're writing new stuff at the moment. But there is some incredible stuff that you have released that hopefully a lot of our listeners would have heard. And hopefully a lot of your fans are joining us, maybe for the first time. If you are, welcome to Drewling Samantics. And hopefully will stick with us. But this is my favourite thing. And Drew, you're nodding because you know what I'm doing. No,
I know where you're
I'm
going.
Segueing. And I have found a way to segue from talking about Missing Andy, the band, to the fact that Rob Jones TV is a very generous gentleman, and he has given us some incredible Missing Andy merchandise to give away. And look, if you're on YouTube, you're winning because you get to see. But we are running another competition, another amazing competition, thanks to Rob. And all you have to do to enter is very simple. All you have to do is give us a following at Drewling Samantics, either on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, whatever your your preference is, and then do the same for Rob. Find Rob Jones TV. It is Rob Jones TV on everything, isn't it, Rob?
No, at Rob Jones TV. Couldn't say it then. At Rob Jones TV on all platforms. Easy.
There we go. So give us a follow, give Rob a follow, and give it a share as well. We'll have a look and see who's sharing and who's helping others come and join the fun. And once you've done that, you're automatically entered into the competition. We'll check that out. Give us a like as well. You'll see the picture that comes out with this episode of our three lovely faces. Like that image, and everyone that has liked us, liked Rob, and liked the picture will be automatically entered to win a load of Missing Andy merch, and we'll draw the winner next week. So make sure you get involved in that one. And thank you, Rob, for a very generous donation.
Yeah, cheers, mate.
No worries. I mean, basically, I'm the guy in charge of the merch in the band. So basically, in that back room, it's like piling up to the ceiling. So I need to get rid of it.
Don't.
Stop buying it. So we're giving it away.
Yeah. Well, there we go. And at least it'll get some more people ready and raring for when you can do another gig. But yeah, massive thanks for that. Lots of people get involved, get sharing, get liking, get following, and get entered in the competition. But yeah. So, do you have any gigs either for Missing Andy or for you coming up that people can come and see you, or anything that's coming up real soon that people should look out for?
Yeah, I'm just Googling it now. So let's have a look here. So we've got, let's accept all these cookies. So we've got on the 21st of August, Missing Andy are playing at the Horn in St Albans.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that's pretty much sold out now. There might be like a couple of tickets left. And also we are playing on October the 9th in Hemel Hempstead at the, I think it's pronounced the Chaldon. It's like Chauldn, Chaldon.
Yeah, it's the Chaldon. Yeah.
The community centre. But like I said, there was a lot of cancelled shows that are still yet to be rescheduled, and we are recording and releasing new material this year as well. So we are looking at a London show, an Essex show, a Midlands and up north, and up and down the country basically. So just keep your eye on the website missingandy.com, or just check out any ticket outlet and all that. You'll find it when it's announced.
Amazing. And what about you? Because I know you do some sort of acoustic gigs and stuff as well, and other little bits. Have you got any of those coming up that people can see?
So as well as Missing Andy, I'm also in a corporate sort of cover band called Band Theft Audio, kind of like Band Theft Auto. Band Theft Audio. So literally Google Band Theft Audio and you'll find all our events list as well. We do stuff like the Formula One, Ascot, those sorts of things, and we do like weddings and bits and pieces as well. But there are public shows here and there that you can attend, like festivals and such. But also, so I do an acoustic duo with Alex, the singer from Missing Andy. So it's kind of him on piano and singing and beatboxing, myself on guitar. And that's kind of more of like the pubs and like fun stuff, and just like having a beer and, getting a bit crazy, taking requests, letting people get up and sing. And it's a bit more like, hey, how's your father sort of gig, no rehearsals or nothing like that. We just have a bit of fun. It's something we can do just to fuel our brains that aren't these songs and stuff.
Yeah.
And then I've got obviously my solo Rob Jones TV stuff. I mean, I don't do a terrible amount of gigs on my own. It does happen here and there. But at the moment I'm concentrating on some behind the scenes stuff about that, with some publishing and management and things like that to progress that forward. But I guess everything is announced always on my own networks. So at Rob Jones TV, if I've got a gig or I'm doing a whatever with any of the acts, I'm normally blurting about it on there. So you can find out about all of that by coming to mine.
Yeah, all links for Rob and for us on all social media will be in podcast descriptions and YouTube descriptions anyway, so it should be easy to find us. But yeah, definitely check some of those out. I'm going to try and make my way to lovely Essex soon, because I'd like to come and watch you do your thing again, mate. So,
I want to get over it. Yeah.
I was actually thinking that I'm desperate to update my show reel, so perhaps we'll not have a fight this time and do like a little.
We'll find something to do.
A little chill log or whatever.
Yeah,
That'd be good.
But no, mate, it has been incredible having you on. Thank you so much. We could sit here and talk for hours because there's just so many things we could ask you about. I mean, we haven't even mentioned Carjackers, wasn't it? The crazy on E4.
Yeah, so that was a TV presenting gig a couple of years ago now. Basically, it's a Pimp My Ride sort of thing, but basically a friend or family member stole someone else's car. Obviously, then there's a hidden camera show for, oh my God, where's my car? But then obviously they then let us take the car and turn it into something else. And most people thought they were getting Pimp My Ride, but actually we'll just give you like a chicken nugget or something like that back. So yeah, I think you can still find the episodes online. So that's Carjackers on E4.
Yeah. There are so many other things like that you've sort of jumped into and bid on. But we always like to ask, and Drew, I've stolen your line now because you normally get in with this one. But
go for it.
We always like to ask a guest to sort of finish off by telling us either a funny story or an anecdote or something completely crazy from an industry experience, just to make everyone at home smile or their jaws drop. So can you hit us to finish off with an interesting story?
I mean, interesting is probably not the word. Stupid is probably more suitable. So the one that springs to mind, and it only springs to mind because it's one of those things that always pops back up on the memories on Facebook. And it was basically, we were playing at a festival called Brownstock, and it was after the show, and it was probably about midnight. Everyone's absolutely off their nut. And I was stood on top of our tour van with everyone around me watching, convinced that I would be able to do a front flip off the top and land on my feet and ta-da. And obviously, I'm standing there thinking, oh, I got to just see it on YouTube all the time. Well, anyway. So I tried to do it, but I only went like halfway, and I just went on my back, completely like that. But I'm not really selling it, but you just need to. It's out there somewhere on YouTube.
Oh, so this isn't just a story. Right. This is a hint at something that can be found out there. In the ether somewhere.
Like, if you wanted something funny and amusing, and but there's the line that I say just before I jump is, if anything, I'll go too far. I literally just went.
Kind of halfway round.
But obviously, I'm totally out of it, so I just sort of went, I got up and whatever. But the next couple of days, I was a corpse. Literally, like it was like one of them high top tour vans, like at least like two of me high.
Yeah.
Imagine just someone like trying to kill themselves off the top.
There's something about alcohol that makes you think you can do things that you probably can't.
Mate, we've done some absolutely savage things over the years. I mean, we're all a bit older and more responsible now. Like a couple of us have got kids and things like that. So it has calmed down. But yeah, there are some absolutely mental memories and things that probably shouldn't be tabled. That we've been up.
But it's given you a great title for the autobiography, hasn't it? Eh? If anything, I'll go too far. I mean, that's out there, man.
Amazing. But no, so massive thanks, Rob, for coming on. It's been a pleasure to see you as always, and it's been too long, but unfortunately, the unwelcome guest has meant that a lot of the working relationships and friendships you gain in the industry have become kind of strained and not as enforced because you just haven't had the facility to. So it is a pleasure to see you again, and thank you again.
Likewise,
for coming
mate.
on.
Yeah, joy to meet you, Rob. Joy to meet you, mate.
And you, dude. Love your pillows.
And everyone at home listening, watching, cheers all. Make sure you do check out all Rob's stuff. As said, all the links will be there. And get involved in the competition. Some amazing Missing Andy merch coming the way of one lucky entrant. So yeah, but aside from that, Rob, thank you so much, mate, and we'll speak very soon, hopefully. Take care of yourself.
Lovely.
Cheers, buddy.
See you later on. Cheers.
I mean, I'm so glad I prepared for that because, I mean, what a great time, what great fun. I think I got some of me questions in, but who needs questions with Rob, eh? I mean, just light the blue touch paper and retire. He is, and I've got to say this, I've looked this up and checked I'm saying the right thing. Rob Jones TV, a true modern polymath. Really is, mate.
Oh.
You like that?
Oh, look at you with your words today.
Yeah. Quizzical and polymath.
Quizzical or whatever you said earlier, and polymath and
no, he is. I mean, talented, interesting, funny. Yeah, what a great guy to have on. And I mean, he was saying how he lost a friend, and that led him on to bigger and greater things. That, like we said, what doesn't kill you makes you stronger. But he did take a few knocks during during this period of the unwelcome guest. But I mean, so heartening to hear, as with so many people, that Missing Andy's going to be back out on tour. They're getting to work again. They're going to be picking up the gigs that they've lost. It's just really heartening to hear him go out on tour. And mentioning Missing Andy, of course, he came up with the great CDs, T-shirts, and the merch for our competition, which you described so eloquently. During I don't like to point it out, but I mean, I've got to, mate. I mean, how many words did you use to get that wrong?
More than were required, I think. So,
I think so.
Apologies, everyone out there listening and watching. I might have made that sound a little bit more complicated than perhaps it needed to be, but it's all right, because I'm going to reiterate now a simple way, and it is simple, despite what idiot made it sound like earlier. The simple way to enter the competition. So all you have to do is follow Rob Jones TV on Instagram, Twitter, or Facebook. Follow Drewling Samantics on Instagram, Twitter, or Facebook, and then find this picture that came with this episode with my face, Rob's face, and Drew's mug, and give that one a like. And then once we've seen that you follow us both and you've liked that picture, you're automatically entered into the competition, and you can win some amazing Missing Andy merchandise, as Drew alluded to there. I think there's a couple of CDs, a T-shirt, a flyer, a wristband, and to be honest, Rob might just clear the cupboards out, so you might end up with a lot more than even we expect. But yeah, really, really simple to enter, and some really, really great stuff there. So get involved. And while everyone at home is getting involved in the competition, Drew, over the next coming days, what are you going to be, mate? What's coming up for you?
Well, actually, my week picks up a little bit, because, as I say, I've got I'm carrying on rehearsal. We've got some rehearsal days for the filming that I'm doing. I can't say too much about it, other than it's quite technical what we're doing, and the director has got a way of working, I suppose, like a technique of working that I have not used before, and I'll be able to tell you more about in a few weeks' time when we shot. But yeah, and it's nice. It's really challenging, but to go back into a rehearsal room and then working in this way, it's kind of like, yeah, this is like you were saying earlier. It's like, yes, this is what we're meant to be doing. This is great fun. So we're rehearsing that. We've got a couple more rehearsals because of the technical elements, and then we shoot in a few days' time. In between that, I will be a recall for a play, and that will be on in September time. So we've got I'm learning the speech for that and reading the script for that, and that's quite heavy stuff. It's a play that combines 3 monologues. They all interlink.
Oh, wow.
With these characters. So it's really interesting, really nice stuff. And I will be swimming as usual, and maybe a little trip to the jungle for a couple of shows. I don't know. So yeah, so I'm keeping nicely.
I don't think we've mentioned your jungle shows before on the podcast, have we?
Have you not? Very quickly, in Eastcote, we have my other half, Verona, and I helped a friend of ours, Nikki, set up he built a jungle, which is the size of, as you do, size of about, I guess, about 3 tennis courts. It's quite a big thing. A couple of tennis courts. It's a real jungle in so much as you enter the jungle. There are animals, animatronic animals, screens for kids to explore. It's very much a children's immersive, interactive trip through the jungle. And we have adventure guides taking them through Jungle Monkey's adventure. And I play one of the guides. I'm Jungle Drew. When Verona goes in,
there, mate. Not sure how you came up with that. That's
it was. I remember workshopping that. We had a brainstorming session. Shut up. But But so we guide through. We take a party of children. They explore the jungle. We tell them about the animals and the environment. So we're educating them, but they also have to find 7 missing gems to give back to Alex the monkey and his dad. So, and all these gems have meanings, qualities that are good, like honesty, love, sharing, kindness, forgiveness. So they're learning good qualities as well. So it's a couple of hours tour through the jungle with a guide such as me or someone else, but they're great fun. So I will at some point tell you more about that, and But so that's me. So whilst I'm in the jungle of my week, what will you be doing, mate? You got more coming up.
So I mean, I'm just carrying on with the musical this week mainly. Probably a few other bits and pieces alongside that. Just keeping busy really. But aside from that, looking forward to being back in a week's time with my good pal Jungle Drew.
I'm never going to lose that, am I?
No. So until then, mate, enjoy. And
yourself.
Thanks everyone at home for tuning in. We'll see you next time.
As always, see you next time. Cheers.
Thanks again for tuning in. We hope you've enjoyed watching this episode of Drewling Samantics.
If you have, then please consider subscribing to our channel and you'll get notified every time a new video is released. Don't forget, we're also available as audio only. Just search Drewling Samantics in any good podcast app.
Please support us on other social media too. We're on Facebook, Instagram and Twitter, and all our links and handles are on screen now.
We love welcoming new followers and subscribers, so please share with your family and friends and we'll be eternally grateful. Stay safe and we'll see you next time.